everybody, I'm back again with a video. Pretty much all of my videos are in my car now, so I know that's weird, but that's the only time I have right now to film. But anyway, that's off topic. I'm trying to get another video done today while I'm waiting for my daughter to come out of school. I just happened to think, there was a video I made back on November 1st about how to be more thankful and have more joy in your life, and there was supposed to be a continuation of that video, and then I just never made it. But instead of just kind of finishing that video and whatever, making a part 2, I thought, wouldn't it be nice, because spring is coming pretty soon, and people always talk about spring cleaning their homes for spring. Wouldn't it be nice to do kind of a spring cleaning series that's about how to spring clean your mind and your body and your soul? So in a way, this is a continuation of that other video from back in November, but it's also the start of a new series that I'm thinking of doing. So to me, spring is a perfect time to start fresh. You know, we think about New Year's and time as a time to make resolutions, but then to me, it's still hard to get motivated because the weather's so yucky and Christmas is over and that's kind of depressing, and taking Christmas down and start, you know, all that. I actually kind of like spring better for starting over because everything is so fresh. You know, the snow is starting to melt, the trees are starting to bloom, flowers are starting to bloom. We noticed yesterday that some of my flowers in my front flower bed are starting to bloom, so that's really cute. It's a sign that spring is coming and new hope to end this terrible winter. But that's also a good time to think about, you know, if you made a New Year's resolution, were you able to stick with it? Where are you at that point? You know, it's nice to keep track every couple weeks, every quarter, every season, however you want to mark it, but to stop and think about your goals, what you wanted to accomplish in the year, and where you are in that point. And spring is the perfect time to do that. It's also a perfect time to revamp your personality. If you have fallen into a funk, you know, whether or not you just don't like wintertime and you're just grumpy, or you want to find more ways to be more positive, like in my other video, we talked about ways to be more thankful. And this one's going to be just a one tip. Well, at least I think it's going to be one tip. I'm kind of doing this off the top of my head. But, you know, it's really hard to be around people that are negative. And the world is so negative now. It's everywhere. It's on the news. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. You can't even go on the internet at all. You know, you go to yahoo.com and, you know, there's like the headlines. I mean, there's a lot of positive things in the world, but if you sit there and think about it, the negativity can very easily take you over. And it's really weird. Like the past couple days, I've noticed for some reason people have been, I've run into more nice people, and I don't know why that is. Is it because I'm looking for it, or is it because it just, I happen to run into a bunch of nice people? I don't know. And that got me thinking, you know, just even, especially when we were going to the mall the other day and I was trying to get in with the stroller and whatever, and a couple different times, young people held the door open for me. Usually that doesn't happen, and usually if it does, it's not young people. I mean, I have had a door held open for me so many times in this last week, and nobody ever holds the door open. So I don't know. Is it because I'm looking for it? I kind of think maybe it is. So maybe it's not the world that's changing so much as it is me. I'm changing my perspective. There's a guy that works at the Whole Foods that we go to, and he is so nice to everybody. He calls everybody my friend, and not in a creepy way. And then the other night I was leaving, and, you know, I'm always nice and speak to him. So as I was leaving, I smiled and said goodbye. And he said, well, that's a beautiful smile. Have a great night, my friend. And I thought, you know, if more people were like that, we would all be a lot happier. So it's kind of like when you're training your dog. I think I've mentioned this before, but when I was taking my dog to obedience classes, I realized I wasn't training him so much as I was training me. I was training myself how to walk with him, and I was training myself how to talk to him. And it's kind of the same way with the way you see things, your perception of things. You're training, you need to train yourself to find the good things instead of waiting for good things to happen to you. So in this case, trying to take notice of the, you know, more people that held open the door and the good that happens instead of the bad things, because I don't think the world's going to get a whole lot better. I know that sounds kind of depressing, and there are still bright spots. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still a lot of great things that happen and that people do everywhere, just because we don't always see it. But it does tend that it tends to be that the news and people tend to focus on negative things. And you know how that is. If you have a negative person in your life, I mean, everything out of their mouth is negative. People are going too slow. There's always somebody in their way. Something bad is always happening to them, and they don't ever stop and think about the good things that happened. Which kind of goes back to the other video about, you know, being more thankful and aware of the nice things that happen to you. But I want you to stop and think, you know, as spring approaches, try to build on this habit, because the more you practice the habit, any habit, whether it's losing weight, not biting your nails, whatever, the more you do it, the more it happens naturally. I mean, if you have to stick Post-it notes all over your house that say, find the good things, you know, look for the good things. And sometimes it's hard. It's not always easy to find positive things in a situation. I remember a couple years ago when my husband was trying to quit smoking, and I thought that he had, and he told me that he had. But one day we were going to surprise him for lunch because he was out on a business lunch, and it was kind of casual. So I was like, well, it's okay. I knew a lot of his coworkers. I was like, I'll stop by and visit him. And when I went to the table, his coworkers were there and he wasn't there. And I said, where is he? And they said, well, he's outside smoking. And I was so upset. But the very first thing that I thought was, after I yelled at him, was, thank you, God, for showing me this. I needed to know. I realized it's up to him to change that bad habit about himself, but I needed to know that that was going on. And I thought it was so strange that the very first thing I thought was to be thankful that God had shown me what I needed to see, because I knew, you know, I don't think it was good that he was deceiving me, but that's kind of my point, you know, to be thankful for whatever happens, bad or good, because there's got to be something good that comes out of it. There's some things that have happened to me that I still have yet to figure out the good in it, but I'm working on it, and that's something that everybody should do. So pay more attention to the people that smile at you and they're nice to you, or the person that lets you go in line in front of them because your kids are screaming, or the person that holds the door open for you. Pay more attention to that and start paying attention to what comes out of your mouth, because it's so easy to sit by and comment, well, this happened and look at that person doing this and whatever, but work on finding the good and you will be a lot happier, and the people around you will be a lot happier. So I hope that was helpful. I mean, I know it seems kind of intuitive and obvious, but I don't think it is as easy as it seems, and I don't think a lot of people practice trying to get into that habit. But I'm working on it, and maybe we can work on it together. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you do to try to stay positive or to find the good in a bad situation, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.